course, we're starting off with a bare face, and I already did my brows off camera, so I'm going to be starting with my skin, and I'm using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer just to kind of help fill in the pores and give me a nice smooth surface. And per usual, I'm only applying this primer where I have the most pores and where I have larger pores, which mainly for me is on the cheeks. And then I go in with the Too Faced Hangover RX primer to kind of help hydrate my skin a little bit because my acne is drying out. And then to illuminate my face, because I want it to be a little bit more glowy, I'm using the Estee Edit Flash Illuminator. For foundation today, I'm using the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Foundation Stick in the color Warm Beige and applying this all over the cheeks. This foundation has really nice coverage and it's not too matte and it's not too dewy, and it's really quick and easy to apply. Plus it's really creamy, so it makes it like 100 times easier to blend. And to blend that, I'm using the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. To conceal underneath the eyes, I'm using the Sephora Bright Future Serum Concealer. This concealer has a medium to buildable to even a full coverage, and I used this one in about a shade or two lighter than my skin tone. You can go a little bit lighter if you want to brighten a little bit more. And then to set the under eyes, I'm using my Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder with one of my Real Techniques brushes, and I'm gonna let this sit while I'm doing my eyeshadow. So for eyeshadow, I'm using the Morphe 350 palette. I show you the shades that I end up using, but I was getting a few requests to do a look with the Morphe 350 palette since a lot of people have it. So this look is super simple. There's no technique to it. All I'm doing is just buffing the different colors onto my eyelid. The main thing is just switching up brushes. So first I use a fluffy brush, then I use a more dense brush, and then I go in with a shading brush. But there's really no specific technique. All I'm doing is blending the colors onto my lid, and then I end up going in with one of the Colourpop eyeshadows, and since it was a dark brown, I just popped that on the outer corner of my eye just to darken up the look a little bit. And I realized that this look is kind of similar to the last look that I did, but I just used different shadows. It's kind of like my go-to look, I guess you can say. To bronze up my skin, I'm using the Giorgio Armani bronzer with the Real Techniques blush brush and just lightly sweeping that on the cheekbones, and then I'm also going to sweep that on the forehead. To highlight, I'm using the Too Faced Candlelight in Warm Glow and just applying this on the highest points of the cheekbones, above the brows. I'm also going to apply some on the tip of my nose, and then I move on to cleaning up my bronzer. This is really the only part that adds a lot of structure to the look, but the rest is very effortless and simple. And you can totally skip this step. I just wanted to clean it up a little bit because I felt like I went a little bit too low. And then for the lower lash line, I use the same colors in the same order that I did for my lids. And then I went in with the Rimmel Scandaleyes just to add a little bit more color to the lower lash line and to kind of smoke it out a little bit more as well. And then for the inner corner, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Ultimate Glow Kit. And I did a combination of the two colors that I showed you. And adding those colors to the inner corner is just going to help to brighten the eyes a little bit. And then for blush, I've been loving this blush from Estee Edit. It's a really nice rosy shade with a little bit of plum, and it also has a little bit of a highlighter built in, so it just makes your skin look really flushed, and it also adds a little bit of that glow. And then I also added some of the leftover Anastasia illuminators to my Cupid's bow. For my lips, I did this color combination, but later on in the video, you're gonna see that I'm gonna switch it because I felt like it was too cool toned. I went in with one of the Rimmel lip liners that was really nice and warm, but then I went in with Kylie Cosmetics on top, and then I topped it off with a little bit of the Colourpop brown eyeshadow, and it was just too cool, but we're gonna switch it later on in the video. But to finish off the eyes, I'm using the L'Oreal Carbon Black Mascara. Moving on to the hair. So we are going to give ourselves some loose, effortless curls. I did put in some extensions. I'm using my Irresistible Me clip-ins. And then for the waves, I'm using my EVB curling wand. The thickness of this curling wand is perfect for effortless wavy hair. It's a 1-inch clipless barrel, which is perfect because before I used to use a curling iron and I would just wrap my hair around it with the barrel clip closed, but it used to leave a dent in my hair. And this one doesn't have a clip, so it doesn't leave any dents. It also goes up to 410 degrees Fahrenheit, which if you have thick hair like me, it's great because it's actually going to give you a nice curl. So what I do is wrap my hair around the curling wand and I move the curling iron downward. I don't let my hair stay wrapped around the wand for too long. So I just move it downward and I let it go. And then I just brush it all out with my fingers. It's very simple. So I do this all the way around. And then at the end, I end up just fluffing my hair up. And you'll see it really does end up giving you effortless curls. I'm going to have a direct link to where you can purchase this curling wand if you're interested. I also have their straightener, which I've featured in videos before. I will leave that down below as well. I'll just leave their website down below in case you're interested. So now that I finished with my hair, I end up switching my lip color. So I went in with the LA Girl lip liner in True Brown and I topped it off with the Urban Decay lipstick in 1993. I have it in the old packaging, but they came out with new packaging, but they have the same shade. And that completes the hair and makeup. And in a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the outfit.